You know, I wanted to say something about comment real fast about OnlyFans. What I suspect, I can't prove, but I induce that the rich, you know, girls that make a big fortune and are successful, I got a feeling they are actors and they are just pretending to succeed. And they're being paid by some powers, like, let's say, George Soros or somebody. I don't mean George Soros, but being paid by somebody who has a vested interest in destroying the country and breaking up marriages and turning women into debtors, let's say. Because let's say that women are hired to go on TV and say, I make so much money, and they're actually being paid under the cover, you know, under the table. And that promotes the industry to bring women into it.
Yeah.
And it's a manipulation, and it's Satan. It's Lucifer again. It's Lucifer. It's misleading people to engage in behavior that's bad for themselves, bad for the country. Yeah.
That's very interesting, but that's,
I suspect.
That's probably a very... There's probably something to that.
And then 99% of women end up just hurting themselves and their family.
Yeah,
and their future.
Most accounts make less than $1,000 a month.
Well, I bet you that's what's happening. I bet they're supported. Almost, I bet you. Maybe not all, but definitely happening. They're actors hired by the producers to help ruin the country and divide people and enrage the population. And if you're not ashamed of that behavior, you know, then you'll promote it continuously. If you're not ashamed, they say that about the tendency of women to be, if they're ashamed of what they should not be, then they won't be ashamed of what they should be. There's some maxim from the old days of some wisdom, and that was well known. They're ashamed of being married and having a family and children, but they're not ashamed of going on OnlyFans, for example. Promoting the ego so people go away from like religious truth, divine truth, and natural law. And like we said, if you go, there's only two truths in the world: divine truth, which is abstract. The people over millions of years have developed these concepts, such as marriage, just have to stay together and no divorce, otherwise society collapses and everybody's miserable. So you make a rule. God says do not do it. That's an abstract prescription against behavior like this. And then there is natural law, which is physics, reality, rational, measurable. And these are the two laws that we have to live between as humans. And you can't just do whatever you want and expect things to turn out good for you. You know, if you're not going to live at all according to religion and also deny that nature exists and say that everything's a human construct, don't expect to be happy because you deviate from the truth.